Happy Monday, Flosstube. It is Monday, July 15th, 2019, and glasses are back on today. No contacts today. I have a little bit of a nagging headache, and wearing contacts always makes it worse. So it's one of those headaches where it's not too bad at the moment, but it has potential. So that potential means that I just take things a little easy, don't do things purposely to make it worse, and try not to talk too much. So I'm recording a Flosstube video and I have a history of talking too much. So we'll see how today goes. Yeah, it's Monday again and I can't believe it. Here we are again. Last week was a really busy week. This week is shaping up to be another busy week, but full and good. I have a couple of thank yous to start off with today. I received a couple of cards in the mail last week, and I just wanted to show them off and say thank you. The first one was from Linda, and Linda sent me the most beautiful, beautiful birthday card. Look at this. Dragonflies, butterflies, just the most beautiful colors. Some of my favorite colors, that teal and that purple, just absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Linda. You made my day. The other card that I got in the mail was actually from a local friend, Ruth, who is one of the members of my flute choir. Ruth occasionally watches the video, so I wanted to make sure that I shared this, not only because sometimes Ruth watches, but also because what she made was absolutely fabulous. And I thought that I know there are some other knitters, multi-crafters who watch this podcast, so I thought you might be interested in seeing what Ruth made. It is so sweet. So she sent me a card, you know, to let me know that she was thinking about Daria, and also to say how much she'd enjoyed flute choir last year. And so she took the time to make this beautiful card. Look at this. Isn't that clever? So she knit that little, where is it? Here we go. Let's see if that's gonna come to focus. Cover my face. There we go. So you can see she knit the little cuff there, or the beginning of what might be a baby sweater. And then, now I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say that she didn't actually knit it on those little teeny tiny toothpicks. She probably knit it on some very fine knitting needles and then tucked the toothpicks through and probably glued those little beads on the end so that they look like true little knitting needles, and then made the little yarn ball and put a lovely little sheep button on the top, and then it just makes the most beautiful card. Isn't that clever? And then she has a stamp. She has a heart stamp, and so she stamped it on the back and then wrote her name. I'm gonna have to figure this camera out, people. There we go. If I move my head. Somebody said maybe the camera has autofocus for faces. I'm gonna have to figure that out because clearly I don't know that kind of stuff yet. So getting there, figuring out, working through it. Okay, so thank you again, Ruth and Linda. Those were just lovely things to find in my mailbox. Okay, next up we have our Monday draws. So I have 3 giveaways to give away this week from last week. The first one that I'll start with was the landmark tapestries and charts. Landmark tapestries and charts, which is a giveaway that Claire from www.celtichobbies.com has been very generously giving away for the last 5 weeks. Today is the very last one. There's a new one today, very last one. So last week's giveaway was for one of the stained glass collection charts. So there's the iris, this is the one that I've stitched, and then there's the sunflower pattern as well. So you have your choice of which one. The YouTube random comment picker chose Debbie Scheitlin, and you are the winner. So Debbie, I'll put your name up on the screen. Hopefully you see this, and then I will have Claire contact you with the details for your prize, and you can choose which one you'd like to stitch. Okay, so the other two giveaways, the first one was another one of these, except this one you don't have a choice. It is the iris chart. So this was, I had two Because Monday giveaways last week on the Facebook group. This was the first one. There were 175 comments, and the random number generator chose comment number 37. So congratulations, Linda Pigeon. You are the winner of the stained glass iris, so congratulations. And just a little personal side note, I took a guess on how to pronounce your name because you have the exact same name of someone who is very, very close to my family, and we have always pronounced that last name as Pigeon. So I hope that I pronounced that correctly. I took a guess, but it was a bit of a thrill that your name came up, and I thought, oh, I know how to pronounce that, but maybe you don't pronounce it that way at all, and I've gotten it completely messed up. However, my intention was good. Okay, the second giveaway for Because Monday last week was the Bah Humbug chart, because we are celebrating Christmas in July. I had 181 comments on this chart giveaway, and again, the random number generator chose a very small number. So we had two small numbers this week. So sometimes, you know, you don't have to worry about whether you're one of the first to comment or one of the last. Eventually, hopefully, your number will get picked. So the Bah Humbug, out of 181 comments, the number generator chose comment number 13, which was Vicky Benyo. So congratulations, Vicky. I'm going to send this chart to you. So I have left both of you messages on the Facebook group, and you can private message me with your address and I'll get those out to you. Okay, Daria is making her way over here, slow and steady. Can you hear her wagging her tail? There. So she sometimes tends to pant when she's moving around because she's, you know, uncomfortable. So if you hear a lot of heavy breathing, you'll know that it's her, and she's here to visit with us as well. She'll settle down in a minute and she'll lay down on top of my foot. So she's, you know, she's hanging in there. Definitely slowly declining, but nothing that we didn't expect, but she is still here today. Okay, so we have a new giveaway for this week. It's a Lizzie Kate, what's it called? Stamp? It's a stamp. It's not a flip it. Yeah, it is a flip it, pardon me. One of the monthly stamps. And because we are now in the month of July, this is the July postage stamp flip it. Come on, you can focus. You can focus. What if there we go. So that's the giveaway for this week. You'll find the entry for that on the Facebook group, Friday Off the Grid. So join us over there. Yes, hello. Hello. She's staring at me just under the table here. So one eyeball, because the other eyeball is just underneath the lip of the table. Looks like she's peeping at me. Okay, so that's the giveaway for this week. If you'd like a chance to win that, hop on over to the Facebook group. Okay, I worked on, you know, I had one of those weeks, one of those crafting weeks where I just wanted to work on all of the things, which meant that, you know, I had a little bit of progress on a few things and some better progress on a couple others. I worked on my sock, my striping sock. I worked on that a little bit. I worked on another sock that I have finished the heel flap on, so I made some progress on that. I'm not going to bother sharing those today. So that was what I worked on for knitting. I also put another row in Sarah's Afghan, which always, you know, makes me feel good that that's still, you know, in progress. I do have a little bit of show and tell today. Now I took some separate video of this show and tell so that I didn't have to take it off the wall. I've already hung it up on the wall. So it's something that I've shared here before a number of months ago. I have a collection of finishes in my closet upstairs where once I've finished a stitched piece, I'll take it off the scroll rods or off the Q-snap and I'll iron it, and then I'll lay it flat with the other pieces in the collection, and then I roll them up together, and then I tuck them in a it's kind of a cloth bag that I think a purse came in many years ago. And then I keep them in my closet, so nothing is laid on top of them. They stay rolled up, so they're not going to have any more creases in them, and they're protected from the light and from dust. So I took that roll out a number of months ago, and I shared those pieces that I had, and a few of them I've now since that point in time had framed, and so this was one of those pieces. So I've taken a little bit of video, and I'm just going to pop that in right here and share that with you. So I finally got this framed. I finished it back in 2011. So yeah, this sat in my closet, rolled up, safe and sound for quite a while. So I'm just so pleased with the finishing. So I'm just gonna give you a full shot and take you nice and close. This Little House Needleworks pattern, I'm sure most of you know it. The lighting is a little off. There you can see the color of that sort of maroonish house. That one on the bottom I love. And changed the spelling on neighborhood for a nod to my Canadianism. And yeah, it's done, and it's framed, and it's in my mudroom when you walk in the side door. I love it. It's finally up. So it is no longer hiding in my closet. Thanks for letting me share it. Pretty great, hey? It only took 8 years. I finished it 8 years ago. It took me 8 years to have it framed. That's okay. It was worth it. It was worth it in the end. All right, so I have another small stitched finish. I was talking about this a little bit on Friday. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, though I know lots of stitchers are talking about this. Diana, It's Kismet Stitches, Christmas in July, same Diana, she came up with a pattern based on the Mr. Rogers song, It's You I Like. And Michelle Bendy helped her chart it so that she could put it up as a free pattern download for stitchers to enjoy. And I'm just going to read you the sentiment that's on the chart. This simple phrase was written by Fred Rogers of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. According to the Fred Rogers Center, the song tells you that you do not have to look or act a certain way. People can love you just as you are. This song reminds you, too, that you should care for others in the same way. So, this is the chart. It is a freebie. You can find a link to it in my drop-down box below. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to link you directly to Diana's video where she talks about it, and then in her drop-down box is the direct link to the pattern. So I think I worded that badly. I'm going to link you to Diana's video, which is going to link you to the pattern. Also, she has a link there to the Mr. Rogers song, him singing it. And I love it. I love how the beginning of it starts of, you know, I don't care how you do your hair. I don't care, you know, what you look like or anything like that, it's you I like. So I finished the stitching. So I found a remnant. This is, picture this plus. Look, I even have the tag. I have the tag on it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sort out this focusing business because that's not gonna focus. I don't know. It's a work. I am a whip. I am a work in progress with figuring out this camera. Okay, so it's called Valor. That's the colorway. Picture this plus Valor. It was just a remnant, and you'll notice I cut it in half. So I had one half. I did my stitching on the first half. So you can see the beautiful color of this fabric. I want more. I want more of this fabric. I don't need more, so it'll be a while before I get some, but I'm gonna save this little tag that tells me what it is because I really like it. I really like it. It's just a beautiful color. So I finished the stitching, and the floss that I used was a skein of color and cotton that I had in my stash in my favorite color. So this was a skein of floss that I bought many years ago, probably shortly after Angela first opened her shop, and it's called Black Currant, and I love it. So let's see how this goes if I do this. Can you see that? Does it just look black? Does it look purple? Can you see? Not really, hey? Kind of looks brown. It's not brown. It is the most beautiful purplish, beautiful color. Black currant is just the most apt word to describe. There you can see it. See, the little screen that I see fools me because when I was doing the editing last week, I thought, oh, actually the color is kind of true. So it's really hard for me to tell from that little screen what's actually going to appear. We'll see. Anyways, I really, really enjoyed stitching this. I have plans to FFO this week, so hopefully I'll have this back on the podcast next Monday to share with you what I did. And also the other half that I have may eventually also be a second one. Spoiler alert. So there you go. I hope you'll stitch one too. Okay, so what else did I do? Well, I worked on Savon. Now where did that go? I had everything ready to go. Oh, it's underneath. I didn't recognize the one thing that I had on top of it. Okay, so Savon looks like this. It's a terrible, terrible picture. This is one of the Tapesta pillow collections. Oh, I have to back up because I didn't talk about today's landmark giveaway, did I? Oh my goodness. Okay, so this week is the very last giveaway from Claire at Landmark Tapestries. Sorry, www.celtichobbies.com. This is the last giveaway, and this week is for one of the pincushion patterns. I don't have one here. I gave away, do you remember, you might remember a number of weeks back, I gave away a begonia pattern that was kind of like arts and crafts movement. I think that's one of the patterns from the pincushion collection. I think there's a thistle. I think that there's in fact, Claire just recently stitched the thistle. I'm pretty sure that's the pattern, that's the collection of patterns. And this is the final week. So in your comment below, because this draw does not take place on Facebook, this draw for the landmark chart takes place right here on YouTube in the comments below. Leave me the word, 2 words, pincushion. And that's what I'm gonna look for to choose your name for the drawing for next week. So pincushion is your secret word of the day to be entered in that draw. Okay, so now that I remember to do that, I can tell you what I've been working on from my landmark tapestries and charts. Okay, so there are, you can see 12 patterns down here, right? the way these work is actually there are 6 individual designs. So the top row, you'll see 6 charts here. These 6 charts are exactly the same patterns as these, just done in a completely different colorway. I have stitched 5 of these charts completely, and I have them hanging up the hallway, my stairwell. I have them hanging up in my stairwell, and if I remember, I will look for the picture that I have that shows them going up my stairwell, and I'll try to remember to insert it here. I know that the picture is in my Instagram feed, on the Off the Grid Needlearts Instagram page. I have 2 Instagram, one for Evertotes and one for Off the Grid Needlearts. That one's more my personal one, and Evertote is mostly just bags. So I think there's a photo, but it's like, it's probably a couple of years ago that I posted it, or a year ago, I don't know. So I will try to remember to find it and put it in here. It's been a while since I showed it off, and they're spectacular. These are just, I know that I go on and on about these patterns because they're just so fun to stitch. So I will stop blathering and show you what I got done. So you can see I've started the second row, third, the third inner border of the chart there. The way this works is that after the gold one in the middle, it works its way back. So then it will be rust, blue, gold. So I did that badly. Can you see? So gold's in the middle, then rust, blue, gold. And then this is all filled in with black. DMC 310 fills that all in, and it is gorgeous. So that's where I'm at with that. So not as much progress on that as I liked, but again, last week was full. So I stitched when I could. So that's Savon. The last thing that I worked on was my counted canvas. This is the From Nancy's Needles Starry Skies. You've all seen it a million gajillion times. Looks like that. And I worked on this on Friday. Now a little word about Friday, last Friday. I did my Stitch With Me a little bit differently last Friday. I'm sure many of you know that by now. And I filmed it as more of a chat. And then every once in a while I would hold up what I was doing. And it was more of a face-to-face chat than a camera on the stitching. Now, I had a few extra thumbs down on that video than I normally have on my Friday videos, and that's okay. That's all right. I'm all good with that. You know what? It's not going to be everybody's favorite, but I'll tell you, sometimes for me, it's just nice to do something different. And I also will tell you that that is going to be rare that I do a Friday video like that, because I love doing the recording where it's just a chat and focused on the stitching. That's my favorite Friday way to do a Friday video. But when it's a project that I've shown and stitched on a lot, sometimes it's fun for me, for my editing process, to do something a little different and make it feel like it's maybe a little more interesting for you. I don't know. It's more interesting for me sometimes. Not that you know, doing videos is boring. In fact, it's the exact opposite. I love chatting with you. So I hope you enjoy visiting with me too. But anyways, next week we'll be back to regular Stitch With Me video. So did you kind of see? I kind of flipped it up there quickly. Did you see my progress? I'll show you for real now. So that's where I am at. I did more work on the outside border, the inside border, and I filled in some of the metallic in the stars and the blue at the bottom there. So that's what it looks like as a whole. An interesting story. Interesting story. I'd like to hear from others who have stitched this chart. I know there's a few of you out there based on who found this because you liked what I was stitching and you were enabled or encouraged to stitch this yourself, and many of you have finished it and I still haven't. So that's okay, that's all right, that's all good. To get on with it. I'm curious about your experience with the pattern, because I talked on Friday about how I had done it incorrectly. Because if you look at the picture on the pattern, you'll see that the bars of the star, the white ones, they are horizontal. All of them. This light color, and then the metallic is vertical in the star. Can you see it? Come on. I'm gonna hide my face. Maybe that'll help. Oop. It's definitely set to pick up faces. So now I have to figure out how to turn that off. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Okay, so getting back to my mistake here, you'll notice that my stars up here, the white part is vertical and the metallic is horizontal, and down here it is correct. So this was a big old mistake. All right, big old mistake. But I'm not ripping it out, I'm leaving it, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna match this side to this side. So these two will match and these two will match, and I really don't mind. Really don't mind, because if I hadn't been trying to talk about how the pattern was set up, I never would have noticed it anyways. So then this morning I sat down with my coffee to stitch, and I was looking at the pattern and I thought, how did I do that? How did I do that? So then I was looking at the chart, looking at the chart, and I thought, the chart's wrong. I did what the chart said. Now, I did what the chart said up here. I was wrong down here, but that's not what the picture says. So my copy of this chart and the way this works, these are photographs. Can you see that? These are photographs that are stuck to the cover page. So whoever stuck this picture on, guess what? This is the way the pattern is charted. That's the way the pattern is charted, but this is the way the cover photo is. So when you're looking at the pattern itself is charted like this. However, that's why I'm interested to hear from other people who have stitched this. Is your photograph the right way up? It doesn't matter, but I'm curious. I'm curious. So anyways, I am not going to cry about it. I am going to just carry on. And so these two corners will match and these two corners will match. And if I didn't tell a non-stitcher who was looking at my beautiful artwork hanging on my walls, they'd never know. And that's okay. So that's all good. And you know what? It's getting close to being done. Getting close. The other two projects that I worked on, I put one length of thread into my Ink Circles Forest Flower because the one night that I really felt like working on it, the cat was asleep on top of my project bag that had it inside it, and she was so cute. I didn't feel like moving her, so I just left her, and I was stitching Savon anyway, so I was happy. So yeah, I only put one length of thread in that. Not worth sharing it. The other thing that is really not worth sharing because it's just dead boring white stitching is the Warm Winter Woolens, the Little House Needleworks pattern that I started a week ago. I started at the bottom with the mound of snow that the sheep is standing on. I am almost done that fun mound of snow, and that's it. You guys don't need to see a mound of snow on linen. It's not that interesting. But I hope by next week, by next Monday, I hope that I will have started the sheep and can share it with you then. Okay, that's it for whips. I'm filming this little clip at the very end because I forgot to film my little reminder that I'm going to insert a little ad from YouTube right here. And I know that those things can come in, and because the volume is off from how I edit the video. YouTube videos are usually a little louder. I like to say something so that you don't jump out of your seat when the ad comes on. So here's your little reminder that there's going to be an ad for some of you, not all of you. Some of you will get an ad and some of you won't, and I'm going to put it in right here, and I'll see you in a minute. That's it for whips. I have a very short shop update today. Nothing new in the shop, except I wanted to show you the last 3 large bags that I have. These are the ones, these are the bags that my sister-in-law Kathy makes, because she is the pro at making the large strap handle bags. So she makes these. She makes a pile every once in a while and then hands them off to me, and then I sell them for her. So this is one. You can see it's just this lovely green floral with a hot pink twill, a yellowish zipper that matches a bit of the floral vine in there. There is a pocket on the other side, and the lining is this beautiful yellow. So these are very large. I'd say these are retreat size bags. You can pack all of your whips inside this large, generous bag. It is a boxed bottom, and with the sturdy handle straps, you'll be going to your retreat in style. All right, so that's one. So I think she handed me 14 of these. When I first entered these into the shop, I think there were 14. These are the last 3 that are left. So they're one of a kind. The next one is a baking fabric. So we've got this really sweet mixing print with some kitchen tools and some, you know, it's kind of a little bit of an old-fashioned fabric. It's really quite sweet. I love it. And then a purple zip, and then this lovely sort of royal blue twill on the bottom. Twill is a heavier fabric. We like to use it a lot on the bottoms of the fabrics. The bottom of the bags. There is the pocket on the other side. O-ring on the side there, and then the cutest purple polka dot fabric on the inside. Last, this is almost a duplicate of a bag that Kathy made for me for my birthday of last year or the year before, I can't remember. So I have a feeling this is probably either she found a little bit more of this fabric, or this is the last of what she had. So frankly, I'm shocked that this one is still in the shop, because it's probably one of my favorite ones. It's hard to pick favorites, but this one, sorry, there's just a little bit of a, there, okay. It's this gorgeous, gorgeous sort of tropical bird print, very soft. The bird, look at this bird on this side. Look at this. You see him? It's just lovely. So, pocket on the side. It is a navy twill that's on the bottom. It's not black. It is, there, you can see, it's a lovely dark navy. There. I had a thread, little thread that was on the top I was trying to get rid of, and then it fell onto the twill. So, lining for this one is a very simple sort of lined print. I'm not sure it's gonna not be washed out, but hopefully you can see it. It's really pretty. Beautiful bag. Okay, and that's it. Those are the only 3 large handle bags. I'm not sure when I'm going to be getting any more from Kathy. So that's it. The only other thing that I have up in the shop that's a little bit different as of today for the next week, I have, you know, Christmas in July, right? I have a few of the 2018 holiday Evertote bags left. I have 8 wedge totes and 4 let me just double check, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the large cross stitch bags. So just a reminder, now these bags are the way that you're going to see them. They're not finished. I get them to this stage, and then as they sold, I would finish them off and ship them out. So this is what the wedge tote looks like before it's had the last few steps completed, where, you know, the bottom of the bag is boxed. And this is the one that you can sit, a wedge tote, and it has a gingham lining, and it also has a notions pouch that is the gingham fabric that comes along with the bag. So I have 8 wedge totes left and 4 of the large flat cross stitch. These also have the machine embroidery that I did on the twill at the bottom here, and it's a beautiful red twill at the bottom there. You can see that. I'm gonna put these, the last bags that I have here, so 4 flat sets, 4 large flat sets, 8 medium wedge totes. I'm gonna put them on sale for 20% off for the next week. So if you'd like one, they're there. And that's it. So 20% off sale on the Christmas bags that I have left, 3 large bags that I don't think I've shared here before, and then still a few other of the bags in the shop that I've shared before. And that's it. Okay, so don't forget, if you'd like to be entered in the draw for the Lizzie Kate Flip It for July, over on the Facebook group Friday Off the Grid, and you can enter on the post that I have there. Sometimes I'm a little tardy in getting the posting up. Once the video is up, about an hour later I'll go, oh right, I haven't posted the picture yet, but it does always make it up there in the end. So I think that's it. Oh, one last thing, and it's in front of me, so I remembered I did want to say this. I have talked about Burt's Bees before, lots and lots and lots, and this is one of my favorite. It's a cream, it's a cuticle cream that you can, you know, I love it. I find that these balms work the best on my cuticles. I rub them in and then wait 5 minutes or so, and then, you know, I can stitch with no problem having anything on my fingers. And I mostly just concentrate on the tops of my hands and in and around the cuticles. Well, my friend Lisa of the Codependent Knitters, Lisa and Dawn, are in Sarnia, and they've become very good friends. Knitting podcast, and Lisa has made this handmade, oh, I love it. It's a handmade balm, okay? It's made with beeswax, shea butter, and avocado oil. And a little bit of, I think there's a little bit of lavender oil, just a touch of lavender oil, so it's not overpowering scent at all. The main scent is beeswax. This stuff is a pretty close ringer to the Burt's Bees, and I asked her to make me some. I asked very nicely, and I paid her to, I didn't make her make it for me for free. I paid for her to make me some because she's the pro at it. However, the reason I bring this up is that their latest podcast, she talks about how they make this, and she puts up the recipe on the screen. So exactly what she used and how she did it, you can find that, and it's fairly close to the beginning of their podcast. So if you're not a knitter, you could even just watch the first 10 minutes and you'd get the information for this if you were interested in making this yourself. But they're lovely girls, so if you stayed for a visit while you were crafting, I think you'd enjoy your stay. I'm going to link to their podcast in the drop-down box below, and I think that you'll enjoy them as much as I do, because they're just lovely, lovely women. And this stuff, oh, it's the best. Okay, now before this turns into another episode where I talk about hand balm for 40 minutes, I better say goodbye. The Advil is helping, So that's a plus. And I'm feeling a little bit better, so I'm going to get some more sewing done this afternoon while I edit this video. A few orders to go out the door, and then tonight I plan on doing some more stitching. Big surprise. I hope you have a great week. I'll see you on Friday for Friday Off the Grid. Happy stitching!